Welcome to Around the Bases, the pop culture and sports podcast with your host,
Charlie Seymour.
and I'm Tim Sternberg. Hit it, Nick. Welcome back to another amazing edition of Around the Bases. Why do I say amazing? Because it's always going to be amazing, and the Mets are amazing.
The
Despite
amazing
being
Mets.
the amazing Mets, despite being rained out, despite baseball commissioner not having a freaking plan. Like, dude, it's a multi-billion-dollar organization that's led by an office of people that are executives, and they can't figure out what to do if a hurricane during hurricane season hits the lower southeast of the United States
I thought hurricane season was over.
in November at the end of November. But contingency plan. And by the way, side note, real quick, we were in Atlanta this time last year. Crazy.
We were. Yeah. We could have been stuck in that hurricane.
I do want to say to our friends, and we do have we have many friends that live in the Atlanta area and the Tampa area. Stay safe. True Crew, especially.
Is that coming your way next?
No, it kind of went through the Gulf, and we today got a lot of rain, and wind and stuff like that. But I always tell Erica this is living in South Florida. The biggest gauge of whether or not a storm is serious is not what happens on the TV. It's whether or not you can buy bottled water in the supermarket.
I thought you were gonna say if Waffle House was open.
That too. How funny, by the way, did you watch The Floor?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I won't tell you, but I know I'll tell you this: that one of the categories was fast food things, right? And one of the, how they show the logo without the background, and one was clearly Waffle House. And I was like, signs.
That's funny. Was there a Cracker Barrel too?
Oh, it was, and there was a Cracker Barrel too. You wait till you watch it. It's so funny. Yeah. By the way, real quick about The Floor, I have a friend that I've known a very long time. Dan Avila is a photographer for USC. He's retired, I'm sure by now, but he's been on like 8 game shows, and he's on The Floor this season. I had no idea until I saw photos, and then I saw him on the episode.
Does that make this
night.
9?
This is probably around, I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot. He was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Yeah, I do. I really do. This is the funny part. You ready for this?
Yeah, let's hear it.
You know what his category is? It's something I would excel in immensely.
You mentioned it. It's like game show host or something, right?
It's game show host, bro. I would freaking. Are you kidding me? Dick Clark. Yeah, I mean Peter Tamarkin, you name it. I can like go through the whole. Oh man, he's gonna. Oh, what a great category. You know why it's great too? Because it's so like specific.
It doesn't get played in the first episode, does it?
No, it doesn't. That's why I'm telling you this. It's so specific that whoever battles him, I think most general people that aren't game show geeks like me, for example, would not know some of these hosts. Like, there's no way, especially the younger kids with the older hosts. So I enjoyed The Floor. It's going to be a good season. Yeah. But back to baseball real quick.
It's in too big of a time slot. Too much was going on.
Right? Like, Fox, what are you doing? You're going up against Survivor and Big Brother? Ooh.
And the challenge.
Yeah.
And they dropped new Circle episodes that same day. Like everything was out on Wednesday.
I squeezed it in only because I had to, because I love that stuff. Like game shows are my thing. So I was up late yesterday.
Yeah, watching. See, I can only record 2 things and watch a third at the same time. So if we're not home, I can't take advantage of the 4th item. So unfortunately, The Floor got squeezed.
Which is fine, because you get to watch The Floor uninterrupted without on Hulu or whatever's.
Yeah.
So speaking of baseball, real quick, so the rain out is unacceptable in my opinion. They could have easily done a number of contingencies. They could have moved the games to Miami, which has a roof, and we were not in the direct path of the storm at all. that was a plan. They could have moved the games to Milwaukee. I don't know if Milwaukee was playing. But
They could have done something even easier if they looked at this forecast, like everyone was saying all week.
played them
They
earlier.
could have played Monday. Both teams had a common day off, and then you can move the final game of the series up to like noon, and you'd be done before it even rolled in on Wednesday.
Now,
But
I know my fellow Met fans were upset, and some were saying that it benefits the Braves. I don't necessarily think
I
did
think
the
it's
Brave
a much bigger benefit to the Mets.
did the
Personally,
Braves play today?
nope.
Today was a rain out for the Mets, right? We were supposed to play
Both.
today.
Yeah, they're supposed to play this today
I
was game
don't.
three.
There's no way that game goes on tomorrow. No way the Kansas City game goes on tomorrow. So the Braves, think about it. The Braves may have to play two double headers.
Yep. They in that scenario, they'd played 5 games in 3 days.
They're wasting their pitchers. Like they're ooh.
Not only that, but the Braves held Sale back an extra day to be able to pitch against the Mets. Now he's only going to be the one to not face the Mets. So
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
think it's a huge advantage to the
I'm
Mets.
not.
Not to
I,
mention,
did the
best.
Diamondbacks lose today?
I don't think they played today.
Oh,
Or I
okay.
think they were off.
All right.
Not to mention though the most important part, I think personally,
Yeah,
you
go
know
on.
what those 2 games mean? How about
What?
MVP candidate Frankie Lindor back in the lineup for the Mets now because of that?
That would be that's
Kind of a
amazing.
big boost to the Mets, I would say.
Absolutely, and I'm hearing that he's up to speed and he's good.
He was potentially going to be able to play Tuesday, but with the weather, they probably weren't going to risk it anyways. So the fact that he was that close means he's absolutely ready by Monday, 5 days later.
Absolutely.
So he'll probably be
Yeah,
playing tomorrow.
and you know me, dude. I'm the first one to be Chicken Little and say the sky is falling, but I have a lot of confidence in what's going on here. I'm not
And let's also
not
not
worried.
forget the Brewers wrapped it up. They have nothing to play for now this weekend. And on the off chance that they end up head to head with the Mets again in the playoffs, they don't want to show them their pitchers right before the playoffs. I wouldn't even be surprised if you see a couple like AAA swaps throughout the weekend and a couple guys who aren't even going to be in the postseason roster eat up a few innings each game. So
Yeah, and
I think things are looking
it
pretty
might
good
be
for the Brewers.
strategy too because they may want to face the Mets. Or I don't know how it works out, but I don't know the seeding, but the one team I don't want to face is the Padres.
I
I don't want to
know
have to fly to California the next day
they
from
the
Milwaukee.
Padres look real. It's the two
Ooh,
hottest teams in baseball right now are 2 teams that probably in the middle of June everybody ruled out. Everybody ruled them out. The Padres and the Tigers.
either way, some team is probably going to be flying from Atlanta to freaking San Diego and with the day no rest at all after a doubleheader and playing the Padres. If that's the Braves in that scenario, I feel bad.
Yeah.
Not really, but yeah.
But I mean, right, yeah, it looks pretty much a mortal lock that the Padres are going to be the 4 seed. So yeah, whether or not, Mets, you got the Mets, the D-backs, and the Braves fighting for the 5 and the 6.
We
So
took Manny
whoever
Machado
gets
like
the
fall
5
or
goes to
something.
San Diego. So I think it's probably better for the Mets to play Milwaukee if I'm getting my pick.
I think so too. Um,
Famous last words, but
Could Tatis like break his little? I'm just kidding. It's just saying.
yeah,
Fernando
they're
Tatis
they're
Jr.
safe in the
Oh
four
my
hole.
God, the Padres. Musgrove again, really?
Yeah.
The
Well,
Mets
they
and
blew the game
Musgrove,
tonight. The
they
D-backs
did.
came back the
Yeah,
Dodgers came back and
Dodgers.
now it's pretty much their division.
That Dodgers team, holy crap. Shohei Ohtani. By the way, update real quick. There was a gentleman who filed injunction in the courts against the guy who caught Shohei Ohtani's ball. Today it did come back that the judge said that the sale is still going to go on.
Yeah.
Um,
I think he cited finders versus keepers.
yeah, which I
I'm
mean,
just
that's kind of you're funny, but that's honestly that's when I heard about it. Even though I don't like what the person did, once you get the baseball, it's yours. Like I don't understand that whole thing. I caught it when a foul ball hits in the stands. If you even if it touches your hand, if it falls, it's not yours anymore. I mean, and I'm sure there's plenty of video. I don't think the guy has any chance of. It's whoever's in possession of that, in my opinion. Unless they took it by duress or some way that they shouldn't have. But yeah.
Yeah. This is fun.
So
Wait, real quick before we move
yeah.
on from baseball.
No, and
Just
I have one
looking
thing to
at
say too.
the baseball, their playoff odds projector. Right now, it has the Mets 78% in, Braves 61.3, Diamondbacks
40.
60.7.
Oh,
So
all right.
basically, they think it's a toss up between the Braves
The Braves and the Diamondbacks.
and the D-backs.
That's secretly how I'm kind of thinking about it. That's secretly how I'm thinking about it. Um, would it be amazing to fly up to Milwaukee to see Nicholas
It's real doable.
Nicholas Pepin?
I'm looking here right now. Do you happen to know how does the Mets tiebreaker fall with Arizona?
Mets get
Mets
the
have it,
tiebreaker. Yeah, Mets have the tiebreaker with Arizona for sure. The
and
Mets, it
they
depends on what happens with the Braves
right. The
against the
Braves have
Braves.
to win both to take it. If the Mets
Yeah.
win one more, they have it. Yeah,
Hmm.
that I knew.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is that Arizona? So here it is. They split two May 30th. Won the first two, lost the second two through June 2nd. And then when did they play them the second time? Why can't I see it on the schedule? It must have been in the second half and I missed it. ESPN breaks up their schedules by half. Let's see. Here's Arizona. Yep. And then they won the first game, lost, and then won. Yep. They won Arizona series 4-3. Who would have thunk that final 3-2 win August 29th could be a huge deciding factor?
My ideal situation, because I dislike them so much, is that the two wild cards are the Diamondbacks and the Mets. That's my
Yeah, that'd
preference.
be
I don't want to see the Braves in the mix at all. Because honestly, when they get hot, they can get hot, and I don't want that to happen. It's interesting. So two more things, real quick. There was a jersey swap between the Kuna brothers before the first game. I thought that was pretty cool. Some Mets fans were having an issue with it because of jinxes and whatnot. I don't play with that.
no
I,
way.
I believe in good karma, and I love that moment. And it was, you get into it like a Twitter disagreement with somebody, and I was just like, I deleted it because it's like not worth it. But honestly, come on, it's a cool. That's the thing that's cool about baseball. It's why I've latched on to Davis Schneider in Toronto, not just because of Madeline. That guy is really cool, and he's down to earth. And she tweeted out a video today of him. I don't know if you saw it, where he answers the question, you're 0 and 20. How do you feel about that? He's driving his car and he goes, what are you talking about? I'm in the freaking show. How do I feel about it? I'm in the show. And that's exactly the attitude you need to have as a ball player. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And speaking of good attitudes, I just want to wrap this up with your Cubs real quick. So, things are not necessarily working out, but I will say this. There's so much potential with your team. Like I see and I know you see it. I see so much, like that you just want to get it. And they just haven't connected yet. I think Council's going to do it in the next couple of years for sure. I think your team is absolutely going to be a strong contender in the next year or two.
Should
Um,
be a fun off season. A lot of money coming off the books.
I think so. Like, what's coming? The Bryant contract, all those contracts come off, or what's coming
The
off the books?
Hayward's the last one
Oh, Jason
officially.
Hayward. Yeah.
And then they've got a
Okay.
lot of Neris was 9 million. He's off the roster. They've got Smiley who was making 7 million a year. They've got a bunch of those like middle guys. Kyle Hendricks was making 16. Maybe he comes back on like
Really?
a yeah, maybe he comes back on like a veterans cheap little deal just to stay.
So let me ask you a question. Unlike the Mets, who basically I think are still paying Verlander and Scherzer, and you're not like paying like Rizzo and Bryant
Oh
and
no, we were only paying Jason Hayward after the
oof.
Cubs released him. We were when the Cubs made all those trades, they didn't retain any salary.
I know fans had that was a tough time when Jason was released. I know that was he's just, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, he's gone. He's played for a bunch. He has a lot of chances at a World Series ring this year because He's been on both the Dodgers and the Astros in the last couple weeks. So
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
he's got 4
Wow.
cracks at rings. He's
Can
got
you
an AL
imagine that?
championship, an NL championship, and 2 different World Series cracks. So
That's
four
amazing.
shots at least 1 ring.
But yeah,
What if they
unfortunately, he
play
didn't.
head to head in the World Series and he ends up with 3 rings? He gets an AL championship and NL championship, and then whoever wins, he gets one either way.
I'm sorry to say though, Jason, you didn't play for the Mets this year.
That's true. He should have tried to
Um,
play for every playoff team to guarantee it.
Pete Alonso's contract's coming up. He's going to make sure we win the World Series.
Mets are not a team to be reckoned with. I
Listen,
think
they've been
Padres,
hot.
Mets, and Tigers probably the 3 hottest teams over the
Look at
last
the way
few months.
The Mets, and the Phillies. The Mets did not let the Phillies trounce all over them for the entire series. Yeah, it was a game, but for the most part, the Mets were playing really, really good baseball. I
Yeah,
mean,
that'd be a battle.
yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited for the postseason for sure.
And I just checked also because the third one, the Braves have the tiebreaker over the Diamondbacks. If they
Yes, I
finish tied
saw that.
5-2, they won that.
So
Series.
either way, the Diamondbacks need to get in
So
by normal
Diamondbacks have to be
process.
up a game over one of the 2 teams, which is why their odds are slightly lower.
And who are the Diamondbacks playing?
The D-backs play the Padres.
Yes, they do.
So
come on, San Diego for just a couple of games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So let's transition into something else. And I promise you, viewers, listeners, we will be talking about reality shows right now. As a matter of fact. We want to start with Survivor?
Absolutely. Let's do it. It's been quite the start.
Can you go over the last episode, Charlie? Because you
the first one or the second one?
The second one. We talked about the first one.
I don't know where to start. There were many moments.
Again, episode 2.
We could just touch on each tribe. You've got one tweet summed it up pretty well. I saw he wrote during like the first, like before anyone was looking, everyone was like, well, I'm not going to tell anybody about an idol if I find it or an advantage. And all 3 tribes, pretty much everybody on all 3 tribes knows every piece of information about it. All 3 of them are found and everyone knows who has them.
So Andy, could I just say something? So yeah, there's a scene at the beginning of the episode where he and who's the sports guy's name? I forget his name. Sam. So Andy and Sam were talking, and Andy's like, I think I'm gonna go look for the idol. And Sam's like, I don't think you should do that. No, make waves, etc. And he's like, okay. So Sam goes off, and Andy goes, doo-doo-doo, I'm gonna go look for the idol. Sorry for the sound effects. I have to. Comes to this guy.
Always.
And so he goes and looks, and of course he spots it in the tree. He's like, is beware. Oh, I'm not going to touch it yet because, I don't want to do it yet. I don't figure out what exactly he said. I'm going to put it back. Okay. So, of course, Sam is traveling to get water and looks up. They're looking for it. I mean, it's not just he looks up and he finds it. And
I definitely thought he should have re-hit it in a new spot.
Yeah. So that was blunder number 1 for Andy, 100%. Is that you talking about Andy or Sam?
Andy.
Yeah. Andy just left it right back where it was.
Yeah.
And so Andy goes back to find the idol. And he goes up to the tree. Someone else must have gotten it. I don't know what happened. Oh my God. So he goes to Sam. Sam, I have to tell you something. I found the idol, but someone took it. And Sam's like, you don't say. And Sam in the back of his head's going, but Sam also says, I think I can trust Andy. What? Sometimes I think, bro,
how's that going to play out after? Because considering right after this conversation, he then does every piece of everything with everybody else but Andy. They're all in on it, but Andy. Andy's now saying he can trust Sam, and then Sam is doing this with every person but Andy. So now Andy does not have the idol and thinks one of the girls has it. Sam has said idol. they all know he has it, and Andy doesn't know that Sam has it. Like the whole theatrics behind all that was just too good.
I almost feel like, why does the crazy person always skate by at least for like the first 4 or 5 episodes? And we're gonna get to crazy person on Big Brother in a moment. Stay tuned.
Well, this time, luckily, the tribe didn't lose, so that's why
Yeah,
he skated by. That's
yes,
the
he
little
did.
difference with this is you've got 3 different tribes. So as long as they can finish first or second,
So that was interesting. Um, going over to TJ. What was who got voted out? What was his name? TJ.
TK.
TK. Sorry, my memory with that. I passively I watch it, but I passively watch. You watch. That's why I told you to explain. So, what happened with TK and annoying people?
He basically, it's kind of tough because I've always kind of felt that it seems like obviously I've never gone unplayed, but it seems like all the seasons, the like
You would only do it
shelter.
if they served pizza, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. But it seems like all the seasons, the shelter is the common area, and that's where people usually lay down, relax, whatever. This occurrence instance happens on the beach, which does seems to be pretty much, I would think that anyone could just go anywhere on the beach, right? But a few were upset. They were trying to take a nap on the beach, and he was talking too loud. I
How
mean,
big is the beach? Is pretty darn big, though.
can't
I
right?
mean,
Can't you get up and walk further down if you want to take a nap,
why
or go
the
back to the
heck was
shelter?
his ass talking? You okay, let's talk about social
Did
awareness, right?
did they did they walk up to the twos of them sleeping, or were they all there together? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Like, I'm thinking they were within the vicinity of earshot, talking loud, and that's the thing. What you have to have social awareness on these reality shows. You lack social awareness, Andy, you're dead. Like Andy. I don't
Yeah,
think Andy's going to make it very, very far, but I'd be surprised. You have to have social awareness. A lack of social awareness is the first thing that will get you, even if you are the strongest, most skilled person on the tribe. If you make someone feel bad, if you piss them off, whatever. And that's exactly what he did. He ended up at the end of, what was it? It was a challenge, right? They're walking and he rolled his eyes or something, or
yeah. I don't vaguely. I don't really remember, to be honest.
but that's kind of what set her off. Like she's like, "Oh, what the heck?"
Yeah,
And because she didn't smile or something, I think, or she was smiling. He got upset that she was smiling, and he's like, "What the hell? We're in competition here, and what are you smiling for? You shouldn't be happy about it, or something like that." And she got upset, and rightfully so. Like that's the kind of stuff you don't call out. Like, what are you doing? Is that
yeah,
like? I mean, I don't know, but so he ends up.
yeah. He's the one who goes home.
Who uses the idol? What
That was
the
another whole situation in itself, where he did all the extra work to extend its life, and then plays it when he gets no votes.
the first.
Gabe, it was Gabe, is his name.
And that also is a form of a lack of social awareness, in my
I will
opinion.
say, I mean, one vote different, and his decision was right
Well,
because he was nervous of it going to rocks, is what it seems like.
can I ask you a question as a Survivor fan?
Yeah.
This season was filmed in May, right? So they filmed this in May and then they filmed 37 right after. Um, is it possible that they watched last season, which they would have at this point when they're on it, and they would have seen the fact that everyone got eliminated with the idol, and maybe that kind of got the wheels
It's
turning?
it's possible, but I thought that they filmed 2 back to back before one of them airs.
They do. So they filmed this season and the next one back to back in May.
So this was the first of 2. So
It's
you're saying,
the fall
I
season's
see.
always the first of the two. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very possible that that could be why. I also
Yeah.
think that I also think that in Gabe's situation, that first day he kind of went off on his own a little bit, and then he had the
Yeah.
debacle where he dropped the box down the hill and made all that noise and everybody heard it. So he has so much going in his mind there, where I truly think with the vote being 4-2, he thought, can I trust 4 people to do what they're saying that I've known for 3 days? And if one of them is lying to me, he that's the thing about going to rocks in that situation. If you think about it, let's just play a hypothetical here for a second, since I know you love to do that.
I do.
If one of those votes was switched and it was 3-3, right? You have the 2 people now who were voted are no longer eligible to be voted for. Then Gabe, who played his idol, would have been safe. So there would have been only 3 people you could pick from of the remaining people. So that could have gotten, they would have started to have
That gets hairy.
scrambling, and they would have been whispering in each other's ears. That would have been a chaotic episode had that happened. And he was
I
only
could see
one vote
that.
away from it happening there. So like, while I do agree, it's easy to say, sitting home watching, oh, you idiot, no votes. How could you use it? You extended it. But there was some concern that the vote would have gone 3-3, I think. So in the end,
you're right.
He survived another day. So
he survived
better than the last season where everybody went home with them in their pocket.
This is true.
Maybe he did watch.
I mean, maybe he watched Around the Bases, where every week we would come on and say they didn't use the idol.
Guess what? Idol in his pocket. A lot of souvenirs. A lot of people went home with some nice keepsakes.
Yeah, that'll do. That and a warm glass of milk and some warm cookies will do a lot for you. So I think the season of Survivor is going to be stellar. I already see it.
We have to mention at least one other thing from the
episode. Yeah. And then I have a prediction.
How about in the challenge, when she tried to steal the pocket rice, she put it in there, and then Jeff called it out. Oh, Jeff, what are you doing?
Can I ask you a question?
Right, Jeff, but there was no rule against it.
Let's go back to Pearl Islands. Let's go back to Rupert. Rupert took something. I forget what exactly happened.
It was the other tribe's shoes.
And he was applauded for it. Oh, what a great move, blah, blah, blah.
And what did he end up doing? He sold him.
He sold him. So was it a double standard, though?
Very. And she was just trying to steal some rice.
Total double standard. I think in the context of the game, I think all's fair in love and war.
It reminds me of a Few Good Men quote when he's going after. He said he tried to bring a hungry man some food.
He tried to bring a hungry man some food. That's so funny. Yeah. You can't handle the truth. All right, don't get started quoting A Few Good Men. So I think the season's gonna be stellar. I know you do too, right?
Yeah, and hit us with your prediction. You said you had one.
I think based on editing and a feeling I have in the final 3, I won't commit yet. Sam.
He's a strong player right now.
I think Sam is going to make it very, very far. They're already crafting.
Someone did mention him already as a possible threat.
Yeah, they're crafting a dialogue for him. They're crafting a story. I see it in the editing. I can't explain it, but you think back to last season, Charlie and that whole thing, they were crafting that too. Yeah. Sam's part of this story. Yeah, they can't help themselves. They have to do it. But yeah, that's a prediction I have. So
I like it.
We'll see what happens. Speaking of predictions, Big Brother, have you ever seen a Final 5 quite like this?
Never. No.
Horrible. Now, let me say this, though. There's a lot of talk about how bad the Final 5 is, but in the scheme of the game, they're still in the house. They have to get some kind of prop for still being in the house.
100%.
That's the point of the game. And as much as I don't like the personalities, and I don't like the personalities left. I mean, I like them as people. A couple of them, I don't know how they're even there in the Final 5, but we'll talk about the Final 5. So real quick, let's talk about who got evicted. So it was a double eviction episode.
Very quick 1 hour episode at Double
boom.
Eviction.
Yeah, and it was fast.
3-minute veto comp.
And it played out exactly the way the crazy gods would want it to play out, in my opinion.
Yep.
Because you had Leah was voted out, which made me sad. I liked Leah a lot.
4-0 unanimous.
She was up against Angela, and Leah got voted out. And then they go into a veto competition, which is of course
HOH first.
Oh, HOH competition, which is of course asking questions about the evil Chenbots and what the control of Ainsley and okay, cute. And then they ask the questions, and then for a while Chelsea's leading the competition. She has a lot of points, and then Angela catches up. And the tiebreaker,
I would describe it as Chelsea choked.
Chelsea choked.
She had a 2-point lead with 2 questions left. I mean, come on.
Come on, Charlie. I know. See, Charlie will always tell you.
Got to tell it how it is. But she did still win, even though she did. I don't know if you noticed it. Rosie noticed it, and I rewound, and she was totally right. Chelsea miswrote her answer, and it ended up being to her benefit. Did you notice that?
No.
Chelsea 1,000% was trying to write 10,000 something,
and she
wrote 1,000. She wrote 1,080, I believe, was her guess. Which I know that you want to be low, but even just doing the math in your head, 10,000 is the baseline minutes for 1 week.
That's the crazy gods again. That's the crazy gods.
That I thought was really interesting.
I think this, and I have opinion on this, so I want to touch on this real quick. I think they need to get rid of the or don't go over thing. This is not The Price is Right. Enough already with the silliness. It needs to be whoever's closest, period. This without going over, this is not, we're not in the showcase showdown. Like, stop. This is not The Price is Right. Just make it closest. What are you doing? Like, Angela would have won if it was the closest. I will say I was, as much as many people were happy, his truly included, that Angela was voted out. Angela ended up being put in the block with Chemo, and then Chemo won the power of veto, and then they put up Rubina. Of course, she's not going to put up Mackenzie. Because if they put up Rubina, then Rubina could control the situation.
They couldn't risk Rubina and Chemo being 2 of the votes.
Yeah,
then you couldn't get your way. She needed Mackenzie and Cam to be her votes.
So Angela was voted out. And Angela said, because I'm a threat. And she was actually becoming a threat. I will say that. I mean, she's gone. I will say this. Can I just say, so let's play it out hypothetically, because Tim likes hypotheticals. Let's say Angela won the head of household
instead of Chelsea.
Yeah. I think she would have put up Chelsea and Mackenzie. Or Chelsea and Cam, yes. And I think the goal would have been to get Chelsea out.
Yeah, I think so too. I think she would have only put up Mackenzie if she was forced to, because Mackenzie did save her off the veto twice.
She would not have put up Chemo. She loves Chemo. As she explained many times. It would have been
Rubina or Mackenzie as the fallback.
She was extraordinarily happy from what I thought she would be. Okay.
I think she realized she played out the string long enough where she can roll it into some like social media stuff or get on another show, whatever.
She's got much to your dislike. She's gonna.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. No. If
you didn't say it, then no. It's not Beetlejuice.
Nope. You can't speak it into existence. It's not gonna happen, because then I won't watch that season, and I don't want to do that. She is terrible.
She's right.
No.
You said it. You said it.
Do not put her on. You said she. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Oh, I know who the head of household is.
Of course you do.
So let me throw I'm not gonna spoil it. I will. I don't do that. I like it spoiled, but yeah. So here's the deal: Chelsea can't play in the next head of household competition.
But then next week's winner gets to, right? This is the last time that they can't.
No,
it's down to 4.
No.
Then there'll only be 3 people playing.
When it gets to, so here, let me look real quick. So No. How it works is when it gets to the final, yeah, no, it's one more. One more. When it's down to the final three.
But I thought final three is when they do the voting, or do they
Oh,
only
you're
vote
right.
two?
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. You're correct. So let's see. We have eligible for the head of household chemo, Rabina, Cam, and Mackenzie. What would be a nightmare scenario for you? If who wouldn't have had a household?
A nightmare scenario? I don't at this point I don't really think
At
there
this
is one.
point, no one's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
Um, if chemo gets out of household, I'm not telling you who. I'm just going to go through each one. If
If
chemo
chemo
gets out
gets
of
out of household,
household,
he puts up the other two. He's not putting up Rabina. He can put whichever two, it doesn't
Mackenzie,
matter in
Chelsea,
the
or
end.
Cam,
Right, those three, and then the other
Rabina,
one
the
is
same
the
thing.
fallback. Yep, those two are locked.
If Cam gets out of household, he puts up chemo and Rabina.
Yep, same with
Chelsea.
Well, Chelsea can't play,
Oh no,
so
but I mean,
Mackenzie.
yeah. You think Mackenzie puts up Rabina and chemo?
I think she does because she's so close with Chelsea now. Cam would only be if she absolutely had to.
All right, let me end up on this. Mackenzie, terrible head of household. Terrible head of household. I'm going to say it straight up.
Yeah,
Badly
she
played. She
misplayed it.
lost the game. I think Chelsea's going to win the game. That's my prediction at this point. Even though
Unless
Mackenzie's played a great game,
Chemo or Rubino win this week, that's her only
or
way,
unless Mackenzie
and they
gets
need to
some
keep her.
guts and puts Chelsea up and gets her out.
No,
If she doesn't
that could
get
be
Chelsea
different.
out, right, she could
But
change
if
her
she's
game,
trying to keep her till the end, I don't know how.
which is a mistake. Which
Right,
is a
it is,
mistake.
but she's going to notice that now. Otherwise, she should have just done it last week.
I think either way, Cam ends up in the final two, unfortunately. And Cam has done absolutely nothing and is not a good player.
written the textbook of floating.
He is terrible. And
What if
honestly,
he was
he's
doing
not
that
even
until
in,
now, and now he's going to win all the
but
remaining
bro,
cups?
he's not even engaging in the
Did
diary
he win
room.
HOH?
Like, no.
Okay, there it is. See, I wanted to see how quickly you answered, so it's not Cam. Okay.
Well, you asked me.
I know. I
If you
know.
want me to tell you, I will.
No. I just wanted to know about specifically Cam.
Cam did not win a head of household. So, the thing is this.
That means
He
Chemo won because you asked about the nightmare scenario or Ravina. Okay,
You want me to
Mackenzie
tell
again.
you?
It's Mackenzie. She's the last one. So okay, Mackenzie wins
Mackenzie went out
HOH.
of
Spoiler
household.
alert.
Yeah, so she puts up Rabina and chemo, probably. Um,
Yeah.
that's why I was kind of, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spoil you. You would have
No,
gotten
it's
spoiled on
okay.
Twitter
I don't.
anyway.
Yeah, I would
You
have
would have
too.
gotten spoiled. All right, so back to Cam real quick, because it's really his diary rooms are not exciting. I mean, it's just he's
Shout out to all
happy to
my
be
dogs at the
there.
crib, though.
He's happy to be there and cool, right? Cool. But
Here's what I want to. Here's what I'll say though.
he's kind of bland. Like, what's
Here's what I'll
going
say though.
on?
All right, keep in mind of all the people that are left, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we know Mackenzie won this week, so it can't. So it's not going to happen. Hypothetically, whoever of Chemo and Rubina don't go home this week, or let's say somehow one of the two of them wins the veto, and then the other one might decide, hey, it's time to get out a bigger strength. Let's say somehow Chelsea is out fourth or fifth. Okay.
I hope that
Just
happens.
let's just play that game just for a
Okay.
second. Aside from maybe Mackenzie, who would have had to probably be the one to get Chelsea out, which he might not do. It could be Cam. People in the jury, are they going to vote for Chemo or Rubina to win over Cam? I don't know. I think weirdly, Cam has kind of played a game where he hasn't upset anybody. He hasn't made any real enemies because he hasn't won anything.
I think Robina, no, but I think Chemo has a really good shot.
But what Chemo just won his
he hasn't done Cam hasn't done anything either though.
No, but hasn't Cam technically won as much as Chemo? At least one?
Yeah, but they both had nobody has done anything. And I don't maybe
but other
Cam
than Chemo and Rubina, voting for each other, Cam would get Mackenzie's vote and
he would
Chelsea's
be
vote.
honestly,
right?
he would be the worst winner.
But hold on, let's just play the game. Wouldn't you say that Chelsea and Mackenzie would probably vote for him over them?
Yes, but I don't think there's a scenario that takes place where Cam is in a funnel two with Chemo or Rubin. I really don't. I don't think Cam is going to turn on Chelsea. I really don't.
No, but what if Chemo or Rubina, whoever, don't go out this week, or say
Oh,
one
they
of them pulls
magically
off?
win?
Yeah, let's say one of
But
them
don't
takes
you
week
think if
4.
they do that, that is enough on a resume next to Cam to win?
If
That
they
they
won for
won the
if
final
they won for the
house?
first time week with 4 to
Yeah,
go,
but Chemo has
what if Cam
Cam
wins week
hasn't
3
worked.
right behind?
But what if he doesn't? I'm just there's like a whole. I
Yeah, I
agree.
hear
I
you.
agree with
I
you.
think there are more scenarios to him winning though than you're
Okay, fair
leading on,
enough. Fair enough. I'll
because I
take
think
that.
he's got some of the people in the jury house that just like him. He hasn't really
Fair
upset
enough.
anybody.
You're not wrong. Absolutely, has not. He has not pissed anybody off. He's. I mean, maybe people don't know him
What if
necessarily.
he's sitting against Mackenzie in the end, who a lot of people think blew it?
I think Mackenzie wins. I think Mackenzie wins against him. Mackenzie wins
Okay,
against
but
Chemo, and
hold on.
Mackenzie
But
wins
think
against
about jury
Rubina.
management now. She's pissed off Angela and Leah, 2 of her maybe votes the last couple weeks.
I think it's part.
Would they vote Cam because of that? Leah was pissed. I'm telling you, I don't think Leah would vote for Mackenzie anymore.
She
She was
might not,
so
but
mad.
that's one vote. But then again,
But
now
then
Mackenzie,
she's got
Quinn.
Quinn around her finger.
Yeah,
If Leah tells
yeah.
Quinn you vote for Cam, I think Quinn would do it. Right?
You're
Isn't
not
Quinn?
wrong. You're
I,
not wrong.
I
Quinn is like, Leah, whatever you want, Leah.
which is why I think Mackenzie shot herself in the foot when she
Yeah,
sent
you're
Leah
not
home.
wrong. And a lot of the podcasters have said the same thing that the biggest bonehead move Mackenzie did was this week when she did not put Chelsea up on a block against Leah.
I see scenarios where Cam could beat Mackenzie and Rubina at least. So that's why I feel like it's not crazy that he could end up winning this, which is crazy in itself to say out loud. Because I agree with you, it shouldn't be based in reality.
I
But
think
when you break it down, he's got a chance.
Chelsea should have put up. I think Chelsea should have went after Mackenzie. I mean, you have to see the strong people, but Mackenzie's going to take
At the
Mackenzie's
same
take.
time though, Chelsea can sit there and say, I played Mackenzie like a fiddle. I
Yeah.
wasn't going to send her home because look what she did for
Oh,
me. She was my
I
right hand man, even though I had a right hand man in Cam.
I think Chelsea is an incredible player. I think of the ones
He's
remaining,
100%.
she's
He's played the
played
best.
this game
No
unbelievably
question.
well,
No
and
question.
she
That's why in
deserves
our
she
hypothetical
deserves a
scenarios, we
win.
needed to find ways to get her out because
Yeah,
otherwise it's hers. It's hers to lose at this
it's
point.
it. The only person she might have issues with against, and again, to your point, you're probably right, but is Mackenzie. If it's a Mackenzie Chelsea final too, I still think Chelsea wins.
Yeah.
But it's interesting
It'll be
how
closer
that
though if Mackenzie keeps winning more things. Because if Mackenzie can say, listen, she's
the
who I felt
resume
was my number
and
one. I wanted to
Mackenzie's
protect her. I protected her all the way, brought her there, and I won more than her. Is how she could talk it up.
absolutely. And Mackenzie's actually honestly played a great game. Think about where Mackenzie started. Mackenzie was in week one attached in a showmance to Matt. Matt, the whole issue blow up with freaking Angela. And
And at the
Mackenzie,
end of the
he
week,
leaves.
her and Leah say, we're gonna get Angela out next. And then they pull
Yeah.
her off the block 3 times.
He yes. He leaves, but to her credit, she reinvents herself in the game.
Yeah.
She finds a purpose, not just being crying over Matt leaving.
And
And
she won a lot.
she
She's
formulates a
won some
path.
comps.
Right. I give Mackenzie a lot of credit. I didn't like Mackenzie in the beginning because of the attachment with Matt. And
Strong player, just misplayed strategy a few times.
Matt has since come out basically dissing her, which is crazy. If you watch some of the things he's put out, I see it on TikTok.
He played the video where that she made the wrong move, which again, I don't think he was wrong about it, but he probably
No, but he's salty. He's salty,
yeah, he shouldn't
and
have done it.
I think he's salty that she kept Angela in the game as long as she did because he has issues with Angela.
Crazy
and rightfully
eyes.
So. Crazy.
Crazy eyes.
He let her emotionally. I mean, she was a bully. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I'm glad she's gone.
But we'll see her again.
Nope. Don't say it. Moving on.
This is going to be an ongoing subject.
But first,
the anonymous. Oh, you like that? Whoa. Lots of twists and turns in that last week
I
episode.
gotta say, it's I'm a fan.
Me
I will be
too.
shocked if it doesn't make a second season.
Second season casting? When? What? Huh? What? I love that show. Yeah, just like you. Um, Smart move to get rid of Xavier last week. This week there was a scenario where they had boxes where they were either safe or not safe, and they came down to the final two, and they showed the results at the end of last week's episode of the box numbers, and we knew the numbers, so we knew at the end there was one safe and one unsafe box. And the
And we
final,
knew who was already voted out, but we didn't know the
yes,
results of said box,
exactly.
which was
So
a nice little twist in itself because we
the
never
final,
even used to know the person.
exactly. They're getting a little better about that. But
Yeah,
I have a beef with that part, but I won't. Yeah. So the final two for to be eliminated were Chris
and
and were
Marcel.
Marcel, and so it came down to, oh, Marcel, I'm sorry, but you are voted out by the anonymous, or and Marcel, show your box, and if Marcel's box is safe, then he
There's
gets
no
there's no
elimination.
elimination, and of course, guess what? He's safe. Marcel is saved by the box, and he lives to fight another day. And which I thought, I why get rid of Marcel at this point? Chris is the bigger threat. What are you doing? Like Chris is in a
Well, hold
relationship.
on.
Oh,
Yes and no. Everyone knows who Chris is. Literally, the whole game knows he's lipstick. Like when they cut and
he's so
they're
bad
putting in their
with that.
guesses, they showed at least four people guessing him.
Chris is
Like
lipstick. Chris is lipstick.
they kept it's all they kept showing.
He's
So
so bad at hiding himself.
yeah, that's why they can probably keep him in because he's so readable.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's
knows
true.
him. He's never going to be the anonymous, so there's no threat there.
So we fast forward to this week's game. You want to recap this week's game?
Yeah, it was another interesting one, honestly. Um, we had again a very, very, very big number of people up. They spread the votes out pretty well.
Which I like that, by the way,
Me
when that
too.
happens. Yeah,
Me too.
it makes it more exciting.
Jack was playing pretty hard, some
But
strategy,
I
but
think Jack is
then
playing too hard, by the
and
way,
then
in
he
my
may have
opinion.
resaved it again in the anonymous chat. He just does a good job deflecting because they made it seem like at first Nina was onto him,
Hmm.
but by the end of it, Nina was way off. She switched it up,
Nina, of course, is Sandra's daughter,
allegedly.
allegedly. Um, who is Rod Diaz Twine on Twitter? Is that her husband?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, so I think about what Jack is outside the anonymous game. He's a gamer, social media
Yeah,
gamer. That's what he
but they don't
does.
know that, right?
No, but I'm
He
saying that's
kept
his
that.
skill.
Right.
And I think that's coming into play in his game. He's unbelievably in the
I
mental. You speak
I
about
think
mental
I think
manipulation.
right now him and Andy are playing two really good games and different, very different.
Very different. Andy is playing it
Well,
totally different.
like
Like oh, woe is
this
me.
episode especially,
Yes.
they're spreading out
What
the
does Andy
votes.
do, Charlie?
Andy as Lightning votes for Lightning. Now
Which is
that
brilliant.
Xavier
You
Xavier tried it a couple weeks ago, but this time
gutsy reflection. Like
especially
he's shooting
yeah,
people off of him. Like I am not Lightning. Why would Lightning vote for himself?
yeah. That I think he has a real good chance to be the anonymous this week.
Which
And
is
if he
crazy.
is, that would be very interesting to see what he does. Because there's a
Yeah,
lot of
because
interesting people on the
hopefully
chopping
he
block.
threw some people off where they didn't pick him as Lightning. Why would Lightning vote for himself? Yeah, I think it. Oh man, can you imagine? So here's my beef though. What is to stop me from turning on the TV? And mind you, I don't because I enjoy the gameplay. But if the elimination is right at the beginning of the show, that's all I have to watch.
I know, I know.
That's kind of weird. I don't
Unless
like
unless
that.
you don't want to know, because then if you do the same thing next time, then you're not
Yeah,
gonna know. You're just gonna get the whole
but
thing
what's the
spoiled because you wouldn't have seen
point?
the rest. I see what you're saying
Yeah,
though.
like what's the point of hanging on though? I'm trying to
I
understand the
will I,
logic of
I
it.
will say the fact that they keep changing little bits and pieces of it. Like
That
first you
works.
wouldn't know any of it. Now that the last one they told us who it was, but
Yeah,
there was a Willy won't he with the safe box.
such a
They
good
keep they
show.
keep changing a little bit of
It
it.
is a well done show. I love it, love it, love it.
You
I
can
love it.
definitely see that the different creative backgrounds from different shows that are working together on this one. So I'm a fan. I hope it gets picked up.
Me too. Me too. Definitely hope it gets picked up. And speaking of which, we're almost in the month of October, which means we're only 3 months away from Traders, which I cannot wait for. And I'm
That's
hearing
gonna be
rumblings there may be another Big Brother Reindeer games coming, which I would love to see. I loved it. It was fun. I liked a different format. It's a little different. The part of it I don't like is they don't live in the house. They kind of just stay in a hotel and go to the house, but okay. It's fun. It's nice to have a little taste of Big Brother in the wintertime.
and new episodes of The Circle dropped.
Yes, new episodes of the Circles. So we're going to talk about last week's episodes
Yeah,
next.
we caught up. We caught up on the last four. Much
Wow.
much better season, I think, as
Holy
you agreed.
crap.
This
Yeah.
much better than the last one.
Oh my God. Like, I don't know what it is, if it's a cast or I think it's gameplay too. It just seems like it's boom, 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 boom. It's not lagging as much. It's fun. The characters are awesome. Like the two brothers playing the girl, the Staten Island. I mean, and then you have the older woman, Angela's age, playing her
Playing her
daughter.
daughter, yeah.
I love that. Like that, it's such a good season. And then they switched personalities last time. And in last week's episode, there was conflict. So you see
The
towards the
Disruptor.
end, the disruptor, and you see how they were again in a scenario where you had the two brothers and oh goodness gracious, that young man from oh goodness gracious. Hold on.
Who? Well, no, I can
Kevin,
help you.
Kevin, Kevin, Kevin,
Kevin.
Kevin. Sorry. You had Kevin and the two brothers at the end of the episode, the last episode, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And oh, is that this? Well,
No,
I might be
no. You're correct.
okay,
You're
okay.
correct. I saw that. That was
And
at the
they're
end of the ones.
butting
And
heads.
the cliffhanger was them not showing who they could agree on, but he was added by the Disruptor. He's not number one, so isn't ultimately it the two brothers' decisions in the end?
Good question. I think he needs to hold his ground though, if possible.
Yeah, I think he will, but I wonder if they'll be up all night, and we'll see.
He should have held
I
his
don't.
ground last time. That's
Yeah,
yeah. The two brothers are quite annoying. No, we're not gonna do anything. We're not gonna move. We're not gonna go. Sorry.
yeah, no, that's
Oh man, Gianna, they're playing Gianna.
and then what was the other? There was some other big. I'm trying to think.
This is what happens when we try to do the episode after like 5 days
No,
after
but there
watching
was
it.
something else that happened
Let me
that
see
was
if I could
big.
pull it up.
Oh, I remember what I wanted to say. The Disruptor in like the first two of the four in the new batch where they switched the profiles.
Oh yes.
Okay. How crazy was it that they did the blocking before it ended? And hypothetically, had one of them gone home,
They had to
they would
stay
have
with
been
the
stuck
profile.
in the other profile. So you would have had the mother who was playing catfish of the daughter, then having to catfish
Madeline.
another, yes, Madeline, who she doesn't even know. Oh, that would have
That
been all
Madeline,
sorts
who's
of
an
chaos.
OnlyFans model, by the way.
That would have been chaos.
You have this middle-aged woman catfishing her daughter, who's now catfishing an OnlyFans. Her daughter catfishing her daughter, catfishing an OnlyFans model.
And who earlier in the show got caught on not knowing what something that Madeline would clearly know. So
yeah,
it's been a good season. We'll
very
definitely
good.
watch the new episode sometime this weekend.
I can't wait. You know, there's so
Is
many
it
good
another four
catfish.
that were dropped or just
I
two this
think
time?
so. I think it was another four, and then we have the two finales. I think it's interesting. I think this
Have you
season.
already watched any of it?
No,
Oh,
not
okay.
this batch. I'm going to this weekend. But this batch is this finale especially. I feel there's so many good anonymouses that are happening. I mean, not anonymous. See, I bring in them. There's so much good catfishing going on that I think
Mm-hmm.
the reveal is going to be.
Yeah.
That's always my favorite part. But we will not have the host again because this was filmed during the strike. So this was filmed
Oh,
right after the last
interesting.
season.
Okay.
So
So
we will not.
maybe they filmed something like
Michelle will not be
afterwards,
there. Who knows?
voiced over.
Yeah, probably like it was where you just had them and it showed the screen. I don't like that. I love Michelle Boudreaux. She's so funny.
She's hilarious. She had a lot
Love
of
her.
really good zingers in the last batch episodes too.
She is so good. She reminds me of Melissa Peterman a little. I don't know if you were aware of her. She was on Reba and stuff. She
Mm-hmm.
hosts Person Place or Thing game show that I'm into. But she's really witty like that too. Speaking of game shows, real quick, if you don't mind a self plug, next
No, yeah.
Thursday, Trivial Pursuit premieres on CW. How
Also
exciting!
known as the fifth show in your acting credit. That's what we'll call it?
The
Your
acting,
your
yeah,
reel?
my real, yeah, it's my fifth show. I filmed it in London back in June and had the time of my life. It was a fun, exciting time to do that. Because
Unfortunately, we'll have
basically,
to wait about 6 weeks or so for yours.
yeah, my episode, I just found out since the last episode we filmed, my episode will air on November 21st at 9 o'clock. So yeah, the week before my birthday,
That's 9 o'clock Eastern time, eight
Eastern
o'clock
time
Central.
or Mountain. Yes. Anything else you want to talk about, buddy?
No, I think we touched on it. We just need to make sure that you get at least another couple wins from your Mets.
Let's see. By the time we record next week, we'll know what happens. It'll be
They'll
interesting
probably have played a playoff game if they made it. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm
when
saying
they make
yes.
it.
I'm saying yes.
Thank you.
I'm sticking by. I believe I said it on the third week of the season when everything was terrible and the world was ending and the Mets season was over. That I said the Mets are a playoff team. Well, you'll have to dig up the archives and then clip it.
I'm leaving. I'm kidding.
Good luck to you, sir.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Let's go, Mets. This has
Go
been Around the
Mets.
Bases, the pop culture and sports podcast with your host.
Charlie Seymour.
And I'm Tim Sternberg. Until next week, let's go, Mets. Bye, everybody.